This teacher is assigning homework in the chat group even while on the train. Her problem was a 6-year-old girl living on Earth. She took the train 1 kilometer south. A bear suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. The train immediately changed direction and chased the bear 1 kilometer east. Then the train chased 1 kilometer to the north. Finally, the train brought the girl back home. The question was, what color was the bear? The problem was so confusing that chat group was in an uproar. Everyone thought it was a trick problem with no scientific answer. However, there was a boy who was very serious about solving the problem. He was Baek Sung-yu, a Korean math genius. While everyone still didn't know the answer, suddenly someone gave the answer. The answer was a white bear. Yoon-soo was so excited that she asked about this person's reasoning. But he didn't answer. She had to explain the puzzle herself. If she thought of she was invited by the headmaster Yoonga to be a lecturer so that Yoon-soo could teach the best students of the school. And Yuno's trip this time was to a song school. On the train there was an uncle who kept falling asleep on her shoulder, making Yoon-soo feel uncomfortable. So she went down to the end of the train and accidentally met Bung-yu, who was also there. When the bullet train passed through the tunnel, it shook slightly. It made Yoon-soo carelessly almost fall. Luckily, Sung-yu caught her in time. This was their first meeting, so they both felt a little embarrassed. The two identical bags also fell to the ground. After that, Yoon-soo was given her seat by Sung-yu. At that time, she was attracted by the number 1729 on his hat. When the train arrived at the stop, Yoon-soo hurriedly ran to get her luggage but forgot her bag. Bong-yu cleverly discovered it and returned the bag to her. At the same time, her future husband also arrived. He came to take her to their newlywed home. This was a gift that he had prepared in advance, so it surprised Yoon-soo a lot. Only later did she discover that her bag had been switched with the young man on the train. Out of curiosity, Yoon-soo opened Baek Sung-yu's camera to look. She discovered something interesting. The photos this young man took were all related to prime numbers and geometry. At the same time, Baek Sung-yu returned home. Later, he also discovered that he had taken the wrong bag. The next day, Sung-yu proactively contacted Yoon-soo and made an appointment to exchange the bag. He got her phone number from the lost and found center that Yoon-soo had just left. She asked Baek Sung-yu to meet her tomorrow afternoon outside the opera house. The two were so busy replying to messages that they didn't notice that they had passed each other many times at school. At school, Yoon-soo took on the role of nurturing math talented students, but she chose art drawings as the topic for the students. The assignment given by Yoon-soo was submitted first by the class president, and he was very confident that his answer couldn't be wrong. Meanwhile, the class vice president, Yo-run, was not to be outdone. She then worked with her tutor all night long because Ye's parents were people of high status in society. Therefore, Yerin had to study really hard so as not to embarrass them. Her father was Sung-min. He also intended to nominate Yo-run for the list of students to be awarded by the president. This unintentionally put a lot of pressure on Yo-run. Although she tried her best, the answer you gave was still incorrect. The other students were no exception. Only one person answered correctly, but no one knew who the owner of the paper was. The answer on it said that this question could not be solved because it was wrong. Yoon-soo asked the students around her, but no one dared to admit that they were the owner of the paper. She immediately ran to the security room to check the camera, but Yoon-soo discovered that it was also broken. The news of the new lecture, giving the wrong question quickly, reached Yoonga's ears. Soon after, Yoon-soo was called to the office. When facing the new lecturer, Yoonga thought that giving wrong questions to test students was meaningless. The purpose of her invitation to teach was for Yoon-soo to train students who could do the test quickly and accurately, students who won the Olympic medal, not to learn. Thinking This was completely contrary to Yuna's purpose. Therefore, she was determined to find the student who solved her mathematical problem. In order to reveal the mysterious person, Yunu provoked her with a note with the content of the sentence. This answer is wrong because it had no specific evidence. Indeed, this touched Bong's pride. So he immediately returned to school and wrote down the specific error in the problem, and the person who had answered the white bear before was also Bongyu. However, when Yunu returned, the person standing in front of the answer sheet was Ye Run. Yunu happily thought that she had found that smart student and wanted to be recognized by the teacher, so she did not deny Yunsu's thoughts. After school, Bangkok, you went to the meeting place to wait for Yunsu. After a while, she also arrived. As soon as they met, Yunsu explained the meaning of the numbers on Bangkok's hat. 1729 is the Hardy Ramanujan number. It is a special number in number theory because it is the smallest number it can be expressed as the sum of two cubes in two different ways. After that, the two of them exchanged their bags. However, when Yunu asked Bongyu if he liked math, he denied it and left immediately. Unfortunately, it suddenly started to rain. Seeing this, Bongyu turned back. He gave his only umbrella to the teacher. Too surprised by Bong's concern, Yunsu did not have time to react. At the same time, Yunga took the initiative to meet Yarin. She knew that Yarin's ability was not enough to find the error in the problem, but still wanted Yarin to admit that she was the one who solved problem. Only when Yarin agreed could she be nurtured into a talent by Yunsu. Ya agreed to the proposal, but the next day the truth was exposed. Yarin was called to the board to present problem to the whole class. However, she could not solve the. She then met Ye privately to ask her about it. Only then did she admit to lying. Yin's ability could not solve this problem. While Yun-Su was having a headache looking for that special student, she accidentally watched a video of the dance club. Coincidentally, this video showed the silhouette of Baekong Yu solving the problem. It turned out that the person she had been looking for all this time was not far away. It was 1729. Boy Yun-Su immediately ran everywhere to find Baekong Yu. Finally, she found him sleeping on a bench behind the school. The teacher's call pulled him out of his past nightmare. At this third meeting, the fates of the two people officially intertwined. Yun-Su took the initiative to introduce herself and looked at Bongyu's name tag. He still remained silent and followed the teacher to the review room. At that time, Sungyu still did not admit that he was the one who solved the my problem. He made an excuse to refuse, but that was also why Bongyu was. When going out, for many people the surrounding objects were just very normal shapes, but for Bongyu, it was a completely different view. When he looked at any object, it showed up with numbers and related expressions. Yunga not only ran the prestigious Asang High School, but she also had to keep it at the top to compete with Yan's international school. If Jung could not prove her ability to, her father, her position in the family, would have been shaken. After dinner, with her father and sister, Jung Aa immediately made a private appointment with the congressman who was also Ya Ren's father. She came to discuss Yunga's plan to put her people on the Olympic judging panel. The purpose was to choose a winner that would benefit them. However, Assam High also had to find the best student to send to the competition. At that meeting, Yun Su's fiancé was also present, but he arrived after them. His name was Sunj, and from the information Sunj had, Yunu also knew about this competition. She really wanted Bak Sung-yu to represent the school's math department in the competition. However, when she checked his academic results, she discovered that Bak Sung-yu always made mistakes, so that he wouldn't get a perfect score. Therefore, Yuna decided to make this student reveal his talent from now on. The next day, she called Bongyu to a tutoring class and asked him to attach pictures to Yuno's study materials. Those pictures looked very normal at first glance, but in fact they were cycloids, fractals, and tessellations, which were all special geometries of advanced mathematics. Bianu was extremely surprised because the teacher recognized the meaning behind his pictures. Yunsu wanted him to participate in the school selection competition and then represent the school in the Olympic Games. However, when he heard the offer, Baxinyu immediately refused. Bong Yu thought that the father took the initiative to come find Yunsu. He wanted to show her that his son had been accepted directly into MIT since he was a child and that Baxinyu had been practicing math since he was 8 years old. The father wanted the teacher to continue training his son so that he could compete in the Olympics. But Yes, father wanted to keep it a secret. He didn't want to tell her why. Baxung hated math. Yunsu thought that he had been hurt in the past, which was why he was like this now. Therefore, she refused Yes father's proposal. Meanwhile, Yeren secretly went to Jonga. She asked her grandmother to let her compete in the Olympics, but Yeren did not want to participate in the school level competition. However, Yunsu also investigated Baek Songyu when he was 8 years old. Perhaps he had failed the math Olympic competition back then. That shock made Songyu not dare to admit that he was a genius. That whole night, both Yunu and Songyu could not sleep. Afterwards, Yunsu had to cycle to school to clear her mind. She was surprised to find that Songyu was also there. He was solving the problem that Yunsu gave him. She decided to help Songyu. Immediately, a series of ideas popped into Bong Yes' head. One's theory awakened the other's passion for mathematics. Both of them kept solving problems without noticing that it had already gotten light. When the whiteboard was covered with formulas, they still couldn't find a solution. Both of them paused. At this time, Sung realized that his passion for mathematics and interest in numbers had never died out. As for Yunsu, she wanted to let Bong Yu freely choose what he wanted. However, the scene of the teacher and student solving problems together reached the ears of the school principal Yunga. She was hunting for excellent students. Therefore, Yunga sent someone to find out about Bong Yes' profile. At the same time, Ya and her father went to watch a horse race. The horse that Sun Min chose won. His daughter's horse only came in second. Sun Ung Men thought that Ya didn't know how to choose. That horse was far inferior to the horse he chose. And secretly met with Yunga. When he mentioned the Olympics, Yunga immediately understood Sun Min's purpose. He wanted to nominate Yeren for the Olympics. After solving the problems with his teacher, he started to enthusiastically find the solution to the previous problem. Whether he was in the library or on the way home, Bong Yu could not take his eyes off the math formulas. Meanwhile, teacher Yunsu was also enjoying cleaning up. In order to prevent Sung Yu from competing with Ya, run for a place in the exam, Principal Yunga invited Sung Ye's father to meet her. He was shown the scene of his son enthusiastically solving math problems. The father was so moved that he burst into tears. He thought that his son had regained his old spirit. Yunga immediately seized the opportunity. She advised the father to transfer Bang Yu to another school so that he could fully demonstrate his talent. Back home, the married couple sat down to watch a video of their son when he was young. At that time, Bang Sung Yu was still passionate about math. He had brought home countless awards that made his parents extremely proud. They hoped that their son would once again rekindle that passion and talent. When Bang Sung Yu came home, his mother immediately hugged him tightly. His father hoped that he would transfer to a science-gifted school to temper. Yun-Su chased after him, but she was pushed away as he swatted her hand off. Bang Yu misunderstood that Yunu was the one who nominated him to the science school. Bang Sung Yu thought she was pretending to care but actually didn't know anything about him. The next day, Yun-Su asked the subject teacher and found out that Bang Sung Yu was about to transfer to the science school to prepare for the exam. When his father took him away, she risked her life to stop him. Even though he was Bang Ye's father, she thought. He had no right to force him. She wants him to assign Ban Kong-yu to her for training because only when he was free to do math could Ban Kong-ye's talent be revealed. However, Ban Kong-ye's father didn't want to listen. He insisted that his son transfer schools. All of this was witnessed by Young-a from above. Everything was still within her arrangement. After that, the father took Bang Song-yu to visit the new school. After that, the two of them taught. Thanks to that, Ban Kong-yu found out that person who nominated him to the new school was Principal Young-a, not teacher Yun-soo. Meanwhile, Yuno and other teachers were preparing for the Olympic selection exam. On the day of the entrance exam at Asang High School, Sung-yu had to take an aptitude test to be admitted to the gifted school. He tried to solve the questions as quickly as possible. At the same time, Yunu also tried to prolong the time. She hoped that Baek Song-yu would return to Asan school in time to take the entrance exam. With one last minute, Yunu had to go out and close the door herself. However, at that moment, a hand held the door. Baek Sun-yu did not disappoint her. He happily told the